the one and only LeBron James. As always, I know how valuable this time is for you, Bron, so we truly appreciate it, of course.
I appreciate you, Allie, and all you guys at Spectrum.
Quite a bit to get into, so let's start with the on-court basketball stuff first. Coming off a round one series, averaging a cool 27, 10, and 10, no big deal, shooting 60% from the field, I might add. How are you feeling? How's the mind, the body? How are you right now?
I feel good. We got an opportunity to close out our series in Game 5, which gave us some extra rest. Obviously, we're looking forward to seeing who we play next, but at this point in my career, the more the rest, the better for my body, the better for my mind. So I'm excited about that.
Oh, wait a second. Will you expound on that? Because I always thought that the rest was counterproductive for you. And I actually lost this debate with a couple of your former teammates.
Well, during the playoffs, the rest is good. During the layoff, the COVID, that was not good.
That was not good.
No, that's too much time, But if I can get a few days during the playoff, that helps. But the shutdown from the previous COVID situation was not good at all.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you setting that record straight. Your final line, by the way, of 36, 10, and 10 there in Game 5, you do know who the latest Laker was who put up a 30-point triple-double in the postseason, correct?
Can I take a guess?
Please.
James Worthy?
You're a smart man. You are a smart man. In 1988, Game 7, 36, 16, and 10.
Two big game James, I say.
Yeah, you get it. You get it. Okay, so I know nothing given the circumstances is normal. Let me first say that. I have heard you say that over and over. But when it comes to this time in between rounds, you just touched on it a little bit, a few days down, it is very familiar for you. How are you responding to this time now versus in the past of what you can control?
You just said it, Allie. You only can control what you can control. And obviously the situation that we're in is uncontrollable. We're here. So we're just trying to make the most of it. Spending a lot of quality time with our teammates, still getting in the gym, still training, still working on our mind, body, and soul, and then just get ready for our next opponent. So just taking it day by day. Every day is challenging down here. Like I said, it's a different situation than anything I've ever been a part of, for the obvious, but just trying to make the most out of the days and just, try to be the best you can be that day.
When it comes to the actual game aspect, and you speak of different, nothing you've ever been a part of, one thing that has stood out to me about you, speaking of not normal, is the emotion you tend to show still towards what would usually be the crowd during games. Are you expressing that towards like the virtual fans, or what is that feeling like for you? What's going on?
No, it's still the crowd. It's still the fans in my mind. And that's how I play the game. I've always played the game like that, either on the road or at home. You make a big play or you make a big shot. If you're at home, your fans are going to be going crazy. If you're on the road, you're going to be getting booed or they're going to be quiet. So you're using that same emotion, that same energy. So it's just kind of instilled in me in my whole career how I've always been playing. And I just continue that here, even though there's absolutely no one out there.
Do you recognize the fans? Do you pay attention? So some players do pay attention to the virtual fans. I mean, Shaq has popped in and had some funny antics. Little Wayne has been there.
I've seen them mostly post game when either it's on Instagram or on social. You've seen some of the Laker faithful. You've seen like you said, Shaq was there. I've seen Little Wayne as well pop up on our screen. Post game. So just to have that type of support from even celebrities, from our family to our fans to our friends, it's still pretty cool.
One thing you taught me when it comes to the way in which you approach a playoff series, game one tends to be, though the focus is always there, a feel-out game before you make that counter going forward. As a whole, how would you quantify, Bron, the good, the bad, the ugly, the great for you guys as a whole versus the Blazers before we look ahead?
Well, I believe, like I said, you know me, Allie, we've been through a lot of playoff series together, me on the floor and you doing what you do best off the floor and just watching the game. So game one has always been a fill-out game. It gets an opportunity to see what the team like to do, see what they don't like to do, ways you can be better. Win, lose, or draw, you're gonna be a better team the next game because you got a good feel for them. And going into that series, we know we was going against the hottest team in the bubble besides the Phoenix Suns. So we had to get used to their play. If people don't realize that their 8 seeding games were all game 7s because they were treating those because they had to make the playoffs. They had to win every game. So they were already in playoff mode, and it gave us an opportunity to kind of get our legs back up underneath us. Ray John got hurt. We signed JR and Dion late in the season. Markeith wasn't here with the team to start, so we were trying to chill, go through our thing. But all in all, we got better and better from game 1 to game 5. We shot better, we shot the ball better, we moved the ball better, we played defense better and better each and every quarter, each and every second throughout that series. And we just try to take the hottest team in the bubble out of their comfort zone, and we was able to do that towards the end of the series.
I know it seems that it may be hard to do this because you guys were so close as a team to begin with. But, I mean, given the proximity of you guys are in one area together all the time, and then watching it all unfold in that first round, do you guys feel like you guys have become closer as a team? You got better, as you mentioned.
So. No, we did get better on the floor, and it's all about our chemistry off the floor as well. One, we all respect each other as men, and that's what's most important. When you respect someone, you're able to go out there and fight for them and what they believe in. And then we just have that camaraderie and that brotherhood. We spend a lot of time. Obviously, this is the most time we've spent with each other because of the circumstance of us just being in a bubble without our families. I think this week has been the first time family and friends been allowed to come in the bubble. So for the first 8.5 weeks, it's just been us. It's just been us either together on the floor, in the meal room, us outside walking around, or in each other's rooms, playing Madden, playing our Madden tournament. So, it's been a lot of bonding.
But I have to dive into a question with you and Anthony. I know you get asked a lot of questions about the two of you, but this one was on my mind at the start of the postseason. As the leaders of this team, a lot has been placed on the shoulders of you and him. And we knew how dominant he had been in the playoffs, though a bit of a small sample size, just 13 games before the season. What stood out to you the most through the first 5 games? Or is there anything you're intrigued with seeing still to come to fruition with the two of you when it comes to the success for you guys as a squad?
It's crazy because I feel like we're just scratching the surface. Like you said, just 13 games for him under his belt in his playoff career. And for me, not quite sure where I'm at, but I know I have a lot more than 13. But just to seeing what he's able to do out on the floor, both offensively and defensively, he has no weaknesses. And it's just a luxury for not only myself, but for our team. And we all should be lucky to have such a talented person. And what he brings to the floor every night. It's just, I don't know what else to say. He can go inside, he can go outside, he makes his free throws, he defends at a high level, and so on and so on. So, and he's still only 27 years old, which is incredible.
That's wild.
Yeah, it is wild. So he's just scratching the surface himself, more importantly.
Okay, so the hottest team, as you mentioned at the time, round 1, out of the way for you guys. Taking on the Rockets, you just faced a lethal backcourt in Dame and CJ. In what ways do Russ and James differ in that regard, and what will be most key in preparation for them?
We come off playing a two-headed monster in CJ and Dame, and we will be going into another two-headed monster at the 1 and 2. Russ' speed and athleticism is up there with some of the best in our league, if not the best, and he just puts so much pressure on your defense. And then when you have James, whose ability to knock down a 3 ball at a high level, and also be able to pass the ball as well. James is a guy who can go out and get 60 if he's going. And we got to do a really good job of keeping our hands out of the cookie jar, because that's when it comes into play with James. His ability to make his free throws is what really makes him dynamic. So, they have a really good team. They are very well balanced. But we know it starts with the two-headed monster in those two guys.